Hey everybody, I wanted to hop on real quick while I had the place to myself to update y'all on what's been going on the last couple weeks. I had my first round of ketamine booster sessions, which is essentially it's outpatient instead of inpatient. The big long week I had inpatient of ketamine. These are little 4-hour long sessions where they just flood your system with ketamine more than they actually give you at the peak amount in the hospital. And that's why there are these booster treatments, if you will. So I had 2 of those, and actually had surprisingly good results. And my laptop's wiggling when I nod my head because I don't have my little tripod. But and it was the first time I was able to do ketamine without having Dilaudid on board, so it was a good way to judge how much better, if at all, the ketamine works with the Dilaudid out of the picture. And I definitely think that there is a difference, which makes me hopeful that if we were to go and try this whole thing from square one, start over and do a ketamine treatment in the hospital, we could even do that as soon as December because my Medicare comes through in December. But if we were to be able to do it without Dilaudid, because this last time, unfortunately, I was going through a flare that had to be, I guess, helped with Dilaudid since there's nothing else that really works. So they had to do the treatment in tandem, and the treatments kind of clash. Dilaudid doesn't allow for ketamine or lidocaine to work quite as well, if sometimes, arguably at all, if you have Dilaudid on board. So it'll be nice. So since I was able to do the boosters without the Dilaudid and notice a real positive effect for, I'd say, a couple days, maybe 36 to 48 hours after, which is saying something. That makes me feel really hopeful for maybe giving this whole crazy treatment a go if we're able to do it where I'm not in a flare situation because I don't have an inner infection that's making things worse. So that makes me feel good about what we can do later. I also got a brachial plexus block, which is where they go into that nerve that connects all those nerves that run down your arm, which is the brachial plexus, and they inject it with essentially lidocaine. It's not exactly lidocaine; it's like lidocaine's sister. And apparently, they also did a steroid similar to prednisone, but not quite the same thing, to kind of quiet that inflamed brachial plexus down, which they did find as they were doing the ultrasound that it was inflamed. And my arm was completely numb after they did it. It was just dead weight. I couldn't do anything with it. I had to physically lift it and put it back through my shirt as I changed out of the gown afterward. But it was numb. It was pain-free for at least 24. I'd say more like 36 hours. Around the 24-hour mark, it started to come back. But I still had relief for that whole second day. So I'd say 48 hours of relief. Unfortunately, the block also triggered a flare. So now that the numbing, wonderful effects have worn off, the pain is exacerbated and worse than usual. And we've actually been to the emergency room 3 times this week, including today. We just got back to get pain medication and help there, since we have nothing here that would counter a flare. So there's some goods and bads, but overall, I'm taking a hopeful feeling from all of this. A lot of this has been hellish, for lack of a better word. Today was nightmarish. There's bad parts all around, then plenty to go around. But overall, you do things like the boosters, and you see just like that even that incremental change for the better, and that makes you hopeful that this could be a long-term solution. So if we can maybe give this a go in a couple months, you know, tutu without any narcotics on board, because I'm at as as quiet of a place as my body allows, which isn't saying a whole lot, but it's better than being at a flare, then maybe there'll be some kind of real long-term positive benefits for my arm and the rest of my body. So it's happened for tons of people. There are very few people that it does absolutely nothing for. So at the very least, I'm almost bound to get at least a small benefit from this treatment, according to the doctors. They say the percentages are really high for at least having some noticeable change for the better. So, and some people have amazing results. So, so the worst that can happen is that nothing happens, but it sounds like the likelihood that nothing will happen is unlikely itself. So that makes me feel really hopeful. So we're here for another. I think our next set of ketamine boosters is in a couple weeks. It's in I think it's December 11th, if I remember correctly, somewhere around then. So, but then after that, we have a full month off. So I will almost entirely possibly be able to get home for the holidays. So that I'm really, really excited about. Seeing people getting home, especially being home for Christmas, being not home rather, for yesterday, being here for Thanksgiving. While nice, we had a nice little Thanksgiving dinner that my dad made on a very small scale for the three of us. That was delicious. So we watched the parade from the emergency room. But it was nice, but obviously it's not the same thing as being with everyone that you love and going around the table and saying all the things that you're thankful for, most of them being the people that you're sitting with. So I'll be really, really excited to be home for Christmas, which is hands down my favorite holiday, for all the Christmas traditions that we have with my gigantor Irish Catholic family. So it'll be great to be home for lots of reasons. That's the icing on the cake, but I'm ready to be home. So, but I don't want to go without those boosters. So I'll be here waiting it out in this adorable little apartment, trying to keep myself busy, trying to keep this flare that's been going on the last couple of days managed. Hopefully on Monday, when everyone's back from their holiday, they'll be able to do something about that. They might even be able to go in with a different kind of injection and quiet that down, they said. So here's hoping that's the case, because I don't want to have to keep going back into the emergency room getting pain meds just so I'm not feeling like I want to slice my arm off. So anyway, that about wraps up the update for now. Before I go off into a tangent about stuff. So all in all, things are looking good, in my opinion, anyway. It feels, at least inward, that things are going wrong, really wrong sometimes, just because of how you feel. But I know that if you step back, if you have the ability to step back, which is hard when you're personally in it, but especially if you're looking outside it, which is why I tell you people, so you guys can tell me, hey, this is looking good, Rosemary, or hey, our hearts are with you for this reason because this looks tough, whatever. But being able to step back, that said, I can see the big picture that this is looking good, that there's a lot of hope for me, and this crappy arm pain because there's been a lot of positive benefits for thousands of CRPS patients at this hospital. So why not me? Why the heck not me? So, so feeling really good, saying all sorts of prayers, and trying to maintain my sanity as I wait here for another 2 weeks or so before I can finally come home back to you lovelies and all the people that I miss and hang out with y'all and mellow out and chill in pajamas and watch movies in good old Rosemary fashion, as only I know how. So anyway, thanks so much for taking a peek at this video, guys. I really, really appreciate it, and I will be back with another update as soon as something relevant occurs. So I'm seeing all the comments and the tuning in right here, so I really, really appreciate that, and I love you all, guys. So take it easy, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.